Hi, who is Scott Simmerman? Well, I've been consulting and training in different organizations since 1978. I've got a behavioral psychology and neurobiology background in terms of brain and behavior things. I'm a former college professor. I taught at Furman and I got my degree at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. One of my job experiences was being Senior Vice President of Operations of a 126-store chain of retail stores. So I've got that line management experience. We did great. We really did some major change initiatives and improvements. I'm a certified professional facilitator, which is what I do now. I sell packages for people. I do train the trainer kinds of things without actually doing certification. I'm a presenter at worldwide conferences. I've presented literally in 34 countries so far and still counting. And I'm the designer of the Square Wheels tools and team building games like the Search for the Lost Dutchman's Gold Mine, Collaboration Journey, Innovate and Implement, Seven Seas Quest. I hope that you'll find our materials useful because that's what I'm trying to accomplish. Thanks. I'd like to do a magic trick for you. We start with a wooden wagon rolled along on square wheels, people pulling, people pushing, the cargo, round rubber tires. The idea is that we first identify the obvious square wheels. What's thumping and bumping along? Why? Because there are round wheels out there. In fact, the more we look for and talk about round wheels, the more round wheels we find. Why is this important? Because if we're trying to motivate people, what we want them to do is implement round wheels to make things work better. Why? Because the future will be different than the present. This is a very simple magic trick we've been doing for years. It's really not one piece of paper front and back. It's a couple pieces of paper glued together. What we do with this trick is we have people take the pages that you produce for them, fold them so that they see paste other side here on this side, fold them so they see paste other side here on this side, and then using a glue stick, we paste these sides together. Now the beauty of this is that you can have them practice and talk about the metaphors you're trying to anchor in your training, the themes of round wheels, square wheels, issues of change, issues of implementation, and they practice this with each other so that they're really learning your metaphor. We include with this magic trick bundle a set of instructions for how to assemble it. With this video, with you demonstrating the trick, it's really easy for people to play with this idea of square wheels becoming round wheels. Okay, we also have this magic trick in a change management version. We start with our square wheels wagon and the caterpillar butterfly metaphor. If you've read about teaching the caterpillar to fly, it's a good story, it's a good punchline, it's a good exercise. So we talk about that. We talk about it being dangerous to know the answer, that people need to stop being what they're being and begin to choose differently, to make different choices, because the round wheels are available out there for change. And again, the key to managing and leading change is to have fun and, grab hold of the butterfly, let's go flying, because the future is different. And this one is what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, God calls the butterfly. So what you're doing, again, is taking these pieces of paper and photocopying them front and back and then gluing them together so you can get your participants to actually engage in the metaphor, teach it, practice it with themselves, so it helps to anchor that learning. I hope you like it. What are square wheels? Square wheels are a really simple facilitation tool. We started using these in 1993. We started with one cartoon, which I call Square Wheels 1. It shows a wooden wagon being pulled and pushed. It's about people doing the job. It's rolling on square wheels, cargo, round rubber tires. So what we're doing with this is teaching with metaphor. We get people involved and engaged with us and looking at issues and opportunities for improvement. We've presented these materials in 34 countries. They work beautifully. We've developed a whole series of different toolkits. We've got a toolkit on managing and leading change, a toolkit on organizational alignment, a toolkit on manager as a motivator. We sell different team building games that use the same cartoon, like Collaboration Journey, and our newest game, Innovate and Implement. We find that these toolkits and the games work extremely well to involve and engage people in the issues of workplace improvement. So I hope you give them a look. Thanks. Why do square wheels work so well? Well, surprisingly, the square wheel cartoon is like an organizational Rorschach or inkblot test. There's no reality to it, and what happens is people project their beliefs about what they see, what's happening onto the cartoon. So right away they generate their own perspective, their own ownership of it. It's used as a facilitation tool. It engages people in generating their thoughts on the cartoon. I present with, think about it for 1 minute, and then talk about it for 5 minutes at your tabletops. So everybody can put their own themes and own involvement into the issues and opportunities. It's about business improvement. There are strong metaphors about round wheels, wagon pullers, wagon pushers, visions. View from the front is different than a view from the back. So the issue of organizational alignment, teamwork, all those things are facilitated by this. It's about involvement and engagement, which generates people's motivation. It's about intrinsic motivation to make improvements in how things work. The cartoons link easily to all kinds of different training and development opportunities. There's simple workplace improvements, continuous improvement, Kaizen kind of things. There's identifying best practices, what do the top performers do. There's issues of how do you motivate the people at the back of the wagon. It's about creativity and innovation. It's about continuous improvement. It's about implementing change and identifying issues and opportunities. So we use this cartoon as a tool, as a Rorschach test, to get people involved so that they share their ideas about what we can do differently. So it's good, it's powerful, it works seamlessly. Okay, why do I like square wheels so much? Well, it's a metaphor about how organizations and people really work. What you've got is a wooden wagon rolling along, thumping and bumping on square wheels. Thump, 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 thump. You've got people at the back pushing the wagon. They can't see where they're going. You've got a wagon puller who's isolated by a rope, and it's hard to know what he understands or doesn't understand about the situation. The rope is an insulator. You've got round wheels already in the wagon as cargo, but the difficulty is stopping long enough to implement the round wheels. So the key here is to talk about issues and opportunities, about systems and processes, about motivation, about trust, about leadership, about communications. It's about how things really work and the choices we make to make improvements in the organization. So for me, Square Wheels is a beautiful organizational tool to generate ownership about issues and solutions to those issues in the workplace. Any manager can use this. It takes a few minutes to discuss. It doesn't require any particular skills, and all of a sudden you're now talking about square wheels or round wheels. Square wheels are everywhere. They represent things that don't work. If people identify something as a square wheel, there will be a round wheel solution for that problem. So it's just a simple tool that any manager, any organization can use to improve communication. Why am I excited about square wheels? One, it's a tool that every manager can use very simply with their people. You show the cartoon, you say, people talk about what you see in this cartoon, people identify themes from their workplace, the square wheels. They then talk about the round wheel possibilities that already exist. It's bomb-proof, it's fast, it's work-related. It's a tool that a manager can use to get his people more involved and engaged in workplace improvement. What could be better than that? What do you get with the purchase of this Square Wheels Facilitation Bundle? First of all, you get a really complete facilitation guide, 18 pages of ideas about how to facilitate in general and about how to facilitate with Square Wheels in particular. You get a 64-slide PowerPoint presentation, ideas, presentation notes, the cartoons, good quotes, everything related to what I use when I'm facilitating Square Wheels 1. You get the main worksheet, which asks people to mind map their ideas about the cartoon. They use this in the very beginning when they're generating their own ideas. You get another worksheet that focuses on what are some square wheels and what are some round wheels. You can use this as an identification of issues and opportunities. We give you a full-blown picture of Square Wheels 1 that you can use as a handout, as a poster on the wall. We give you a poster of some of the key learning points about Square Wheels 1. Lastly, we give you what I think is my best article on teaching the caterpillar to fly. 27 pages of ideas and themes around managing and change in organizations and with individuals. So we think you'll find this to be a very, very complete toolkit with all the information you need to really have fun and generate organizational improvement.